Hello, family. I hope all is well. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I'm going to send you all lots of love. We're going to get right into the content. It's a classic. We're talking about the same battle we've been going back and forth, black and white, before immigrants ever came over here. It was a black and white thing. And these are, I believe, people from Chicago. And we're just saying we want respect and to let us be, leave us alone. We want equal rights in our own neighborhood, and we want to build our own coalition between our people, Foundation of Black American Indians, or the Black Israelites. And I'm just summarizing this. This is my words. And then they going back and forth. And so you got these, listen to the white, it's going to be a white school teacher speaking of what he see and who running the school system, white people. And this young lady saying, well, she came up poor too, but she don't understand, or they just don't want to understand you. By you being white, you got a step, a head start. As being a black woman, I would have to work 2 times harder, qualified, have more qualifications than you just to get the same job. But he's going to explain. Then you're going to have this white man coming in saying, but they need educate. They can't read. That's the problem. Sir, y'all kept us in slavery for 250 years, and we were forbidden to read for at least 400 years and write. Are you surprised that my great-grandfather and grandfathers couldn't read back in the 70s or the 60s or the 50s? You should do the same thing you did for the white man that was poor and couldn't read or write. You trained him. But we could count money and drive. All right, let's listen to this. Here we go, family. And like, share, and subscribe. And go over to YouTube to Cozy's News. Here we go.
Mrs. Williams, I think white people have to talk to white people and tell them why they're wrong.
Here's a white
I think, like white people have to tell some ignorant white people that they shouldn't start listening to Russell Meek and Gene Williams and Dick Gregory and Bob Lucas. And I'd like to ask this woman if she honestly believes there isn't segregation in Chicago, and if she's been to the schools. I teach in the West Side. My name's Richard Kelly. I teach an upper grade center in the West Side. And I next year, conditions are worse than last year. I have 39 in the class where I had 35. We have a white principal, white assistant principal. The Negroes that teach our school are afraid to open their mouth because they're afraid that they're going to lose their job.
And they will.
There's a lot of segregation, not only in the house. You can go in the different neighborhoods. Ma'am, I don't see how you can sit here and dare to talk to Russ Meek and say there isn't segregation in Chicago.
The whole thing comes down... Identify yourself, please.
Elmer Lazar, Chicago, Illinois. The whole thing...
Are you with an association?
No. Yes, individual.
Go ahead.
The whole thing here comes down to education, rather lack of education. Now, to prove this to you, I was an employment manager of a firm that employed dozens of Negroes 5, 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And we were looking for a truck driver several times, not just once, dozens of times. We used to...
Now look at it. He's like he probably had a high school education and talking so like he's so above the black man when we was inventing things and we built America at that time. But this is how some white people is. He may have had a high school diploma. They moved him up because he had been on the job a long time. So that's how he got the position. And now he has the nerve to talk down. Train him, sir.
Few colored fellows that come in, from 18 to 30, any age. And out of 25 colored fellows that came in to apply for the job, only 3 or 4 could read and write English. 3 or 4. Now, these were newly come Southerners from the South, see. And only out of the 25 fellows that we interviewed, only 3 or 4 could read and write. Back in 1950, 52, 53, 54, 55.
So your point is,
What can you do with the people that they sent from the South that can't read and write? What can you do with people that have no education? Now,
You could same thing you do with white folks. You train them.
well, we have to educate. The South should not be allowed to send these colored people up here. Rather, they should educate them. They should educate them. See? That's the point.
how about this gentleman in the front row? Would you identify?
And here's for the immigrants. Now you see they was calling us colors back then. So our identity has been changed many times by the white man at their convenience. When it was a business, now they call us African Americans and bring y'all over here. So water down who we were, so we have no ties to the land. So when y'all get to talking about y'all can't change y'all name, y'all African American, we could do what we want to do. They've been doing it for 400 years. All right, here we go.
Sir?
I'm Reverend Edward G. Davis, the Executive Director of the North Suburban Organization for Fair Housing. There are a couple of points that I want to speak to, particularly to get back to originally the way we started out.
Yes.
We're caught now in this trap between whether we're going to follow Dr. Martin Luther King with a nonviolent approach or whether we're going to follow my friend Russ Meeks here with a violent approach. We're at a loss to know what to do. We tried Dr. King. We're afraid to try Meeks.
Are you
So
afraid
what
to
do
try
we
me?
do?
You're afraid to try me?
Some of the people on the North Shore are afraid. They've gotten a little sophistication because they've been able to move to the
Are
North
these
Shore.
Negroes you're talking about?
Negroes, yes.
Middle class Negroes.
They've been calling the police department in Evanston, hoping there's not going to be a riot in Evanston. They are afraid too. Now, how do you reach these kind of people?
Well, you feel the middle
Mr.
class.
Meeks to tell us this.
The middle class Negroes.
The middle class Negroes who have become complacent, who fear the revolutionary lower to lower economic class Negroes.
Well, Mr. Meek, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I'd like to respond because I think that you sound like a reverend. Thank goodness there's some people like you left. I might even come to your church one day and see what you have to say. Man, whew, what a breath of fresh air. I want to say this because, see, first of all, there's a mistaken notion. The Watts study, which they just brought out, proved that the middle class black man is much more violent than the so-called lower strata.
Well, that differs from what you were saying.
Well, you see, when you talk about people in North Shore, see, here's the point. Which, I'm talking to black folk now, that no matter what happens, the dialectics of the situation are going to make you either get off the fence or crawl in a hole in the ground. It is the ability to take your own resources and develop a culture, a society, a community of our own, the way we want it, free from white interference. And we give you the same privilege. We're not interested in interracial housing. We don't want your neighborhood. We want ours to be just as good. See, we don't want a store in your neighborhood. We don't want you coming in our neighborhood and open up stores and exploiting us, and then go home and throw a bomb if we move next door out in the suburbs. We don't want your schools, but we want our schools to be the highest and the best possible for our black progeny. See, what people don't understand, we are saying, and we're not asking. You see, the die is cast, as I said. We're not asking. We're saying this is the way it's going to be.
Well, Mr. Meek, why do you feel, as an example, just to zero in on this, why do you personally feel that Martin Luther King's way is not the way to work?
Well, it's very simple to me, because it hasn't worked.
He's talking about new techniques, tying up the city.
You don't tie up no city. You don't tie up the city. There's no such thing as massive civil disobedience. There's two things. There's you either have a revolution, because the moment he tries that, the police force with the live bullets from every day talk about going to open up on him, and what's he going to do about the black folks laying out in the street with blood running out of their bodies? You think that then he's going to lose control, then he's going to run and call the president and say, send the troops in. You see?
Let me ask you a question. What if every Negro employee of the CTA picked one day in September to get sick? Wouldn't that tie up the
No,
city?
they'd get tired, they put white folks in their place.
In the Catholic Interracial Council. I'm also a Democrat, and about 1,000 years ago, there was a Greek philosopher who said that those who do injustice are more harmed than those who receive injustice. And anybody who marched into those white neighborhoods last fall would know from the looks of the hatred and the fear on the white people's faces that they have been more harmed by the way they have treated the Negro race than the Negroes, as badly as they have been harmed, have been treated. And I think that the white race in this country needs this revolution even more than the Negro race needs it.
Well, go right ahead, ma'am, yes.
My name is This is Elmer Lazar, and my husband and I are 100% for the Negro. I want to state that. In fact, when people say, would you like to have a Negro live next door to you, I said he has a perfect right to.
Do you have a Negro next door to you?
No, not yet, but I mean, I would really not mind it.
Yes, sure.
However, and I am for the Negro, I want to see him get ahead. But now, in regard to what this gentleman said,
What you say, you know, and maybe she mean well, but we don't believe that because we go by the actions of people, not by what they say out their mouth. Because coming there with the Bible and talking about Jesus and turning the other cheek with a little headscarf on, looking all like little golden so innocent. These same people, when the camera's not on, is the ones, the Karens, that be following you around in their neighborhoods and what are you doing here? So you could tell people that don't know y'all, but black people, Foundation Black Americans, Black American Indians, and the Black Israelites, we know white people. And we know how they feel in their hearts. Hopefully, this is a wake-up call for them, because judgment is upon them because of the sins of their fathers. We don't want to see nobody, so we hope y'all don't have to go through what we went through. But save us with the innocent look and the sweet talk. We don't fall for that one anymore. Okay, here we go. She says she wants us to live next door to her. They don't mean
this Negro going to purchase his needs, get his needs. All right, fine. All right, I want to address another remark to Mr. Meek. Many of my friends have been for the Negro, but ever since this violence started, they have turned against him. How do you go about not alienating the white man who has been for you
We don't
through
care.
violence?
We don't care. He
You
for
don't
400 years, he have murdered, burned, raped, castrated, and tortured. I give less than a hootenanny what any white person thinks about this black man is.
Well, but don't you want us to be with
I
him?
don't want you to do anything but leave us alone.
We don't need you.
But I mean moral support. I don't mean to do anything for you, but
Work in your own neighborhood with the white people, they need the morality. We don't.
stood up for the Negroes, and now they say, well, now when they resort to violence, we are
We
not
resort
with
to
them.
violence.
Well, I mean in some of these riot areas.
Well, riot areas. You talk about we resort to violence when I talked to a reporter for Newsweek who told of National Guardsmen shooting down people in the back. Understand? As they're walking down the street minding their business, shooting down the machine guns.
Yes,
Now wait, but
we
listen.
understand
You said
that.
about violence. Yeah, I get sick in my stomach when I hear a white person talk about violence. You're the most violent people in the world.
I believe
You're
that.
born on it, you
I
live on it,
believe
you're
that.
sick with
I believe
it.
it.
You're saturated with it.
Mr.
We have been the most peaceable, law-abiding fools the world has ever seen.
Well, perhaps our media of communication has misinterpreted them.
Of course it is. We don't want you to love us. We don't love you.
Then we are not being represented. You are not being.
your love is expensive. Your love always is given through bullying or taking, or somebody gonna have to make a sacrifice when you give love. So that's why he's saying we don't want your love. We don't want anything. We just want respect and to be left alone and let us build. If you just would leave us alone, we can make it. And y'all could be over there living y'all all white town and be happy. Here we go.
Presented properly through the press.
The heck with the press.
Right here and now, the tragedy.
Nobody loves a rap press, baby.
All right, family. Like if you like, share if you agree. And love y'all. Bye.